I bought my dream car, Greg.
Oh.
I know. Yeah.
Wait, just so many cars went racing through my brain right then.
Racing. Good pun. Totally bought a thing that I've been dreaming about for maybe 10 years, maybe more.
A vehicle that you've been dreaming of for 5 years, you just purchased it. What was the price on that dream vehicle? Because I wasn't aware
I've been
that you
working
were,
really hard lately.
Wasn't aware you had money bags.
Saving up. I made some deals and got quite a bank load of money, I believe is how the rich people talk.
Bank load of money, yes.
It's a bank load of money.
Might be a boatload.
And I mean yacht load because of the cash.
Because you're not a little dinghy. Hey-o.
That I got. I dropped a hefty $800 on my dream car, my Mercury Grand Marquis.
I'm looking around like if somebody else heard that and if they understood
just
what
the
dream car
yeah, crickets, literally. Yeah.
Okay, so is this a fixer-upper, an $800 dream car? Is this one of those, does it have a motor? Does it have a transmission? Does it have paint job? Does it have doors? Does it
yeah, it has doors.
$800?
And two of them work, dude. Two.
Are they... Oh.
On the driver's side. It's got kicked in really hard by some car. I bought a wrecked.
It's T-boned.
Yeah, T-boned Mercury Grand Marquis. It's pretty awesome, though.
Oh, Biz Marquis in the hizzy. do, Biz
yeah, it's too hard to just keep saying Mercury Grand Marquis instead of... It's like a Crown Vic, but anyway. So, yeah, my truck died. We're fixing it. And then I'm gonna sell that truck. But in the meantime, I got...
A Biz Marquis.
We're going to call it like Biz Marquis. We're going to call it the Grand Marquis, the Biz Marquis. And after that amazing rapper who passed away, I think, just a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. It's news to me. R.I.P. Biz Marquis.
Yeah. Great song. Great artist. He was in the first, what do you call it? Men in Black movie, and he played an alien.
I didn't realize that.
Space alien, and they didn't put him in a costume or anything. He just did his rapping, his beatboxing and stuff, and that's how they talked to him like an alien. He just literally did it, himself. It was so cool. Always made me love him. And also his songs of "Oh baby, you got what I need."
You don't say Biz Marquis without that.
Yeah, so good. Anyway, so we've been calling it the Biz, but. This car, since it's one of the last body-on-frame vehicles...
this is a Panther frame.
Panther chassis, yes. So that's under the Ford Crown Vic, the also under, the Lincoln Town Car. And
the Biz Marquis.
And then the Mercury Grand Marquis. But it's a super boring car, but they're plentiful. And they got a 4.6 2-valve V8, and they don't make a lot of power, but you can make a lot of power with some cams and some headers and some better breathing. It's pretty cheap to get them up to 400 horsepower pretty quick.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, so
the dream car is a car in the works that you're going to make a super cool town car kind of a thing.
Because well, you've seen like Hot Rod Garage and it's all over YouTube of doing the removing the body, and since this body was already wrecked, but it only has 64,000 miles on it.
Oh, delicious!
So it rides nice. The engine works great. AC works. All that stuff rides like a cloud and has some good power. I'm going to remove the body, recycle the body, and replace it with like a 1970s Ford truck.
Oh, buddy, let's do it.
It's going to be rad.
What color is it going to be?
Whatever truck we find. I mean, really, it's like I can't just shop based on I want a green one or whatever. So
right. So you just find a donor body and then put that on the Panther chassis.
Yeah, and there's 1,000 million F-150s out there, but it's like anywhere from like a 50, 1950 to practically a 1979 or something.
Where it has
truck will fit on there.
Geez Louise, that's a lot of choices.
Yeah,
to
maybe
choose
even
from.
maybe even up to the new 90s and stuff once it will fit on there. But I don't want to bother with that. It takes away the fun of having a cool classic.
You have a 94.
I do, but it's already.
It's sold.
I'm done with it. I'm fine with that. I know I want something cool. I want something classic, and then I can have a really awesome looking ornate truck with that handles well and
drives like
goes
a car.
fast, gets over 20 miles a gallon. Dude, I got 25 miles per gallon coming over today.
You son of a gun.
Man, it's weird.
I
miss,
dream of that.
I miss my gas station guy. He's really nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, get him Mountain Dew, say, what's up? And he doesn't look at me in the eye. It's really cool, man. I love him. He's like, he doesn't talk to me. He doesn't like make conversation at all. He just, he just says, okay, 2 of those. And I go, yes, sir. And then rings it up. I don't have to say any pleasantries. I don't know his name. I don't know anything. Been going there for probably 15 years.
He doesn't have a name tag.
Probably. Haven't read it. But
so who's never mind. Okay, anyway.
He's my favorite gas station attendant.
So you're going to Panther chassis this F-150.
Yeah. And then they have performance suspension and get different control arms and all that fun stuff. And
I see the dream car now. I see it.
Yeah, and then I have a great handling little short bed pickup truck that fly around town in. They call it, instead of a Crown Vic, they now call them the Crown Hick.
Oh yeah,
that was Hot Rod Garage's name for them. So I'm gonna do it. I've been wanting to do it for a while. So
sounds delicious.
It'll be fun, dude.
And you're not gonna paint it,
huh?
You're not gonna paint it.
Yeah, I might. Well, that all depends, dude. Because I'd love to have it. I would love to have like some kind of beautiful seafoam green or whatever, and nice colors and everything. But man, it's just so freaking expensive to do a paint job, even on a truck. I like trucks because it's like, if you're doing a restoration on them, you don't have to do a lot of chrome work. There's not a lot of trim. You can kind of do it on a budget if you're going to get into the classic car market.
Not so flashy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, also, chrome gets expensive. If you're going to restore like an old Cadillac, then you got to triple, quadruple your budget.
Yeah, chrome don't get you home. So.
No, but it's expensive, and it's part of the big deal there.
Part of the sell of the classic car, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that. I don't know, how much does a paint job cost, Greg, for like, let's say, 72 Ford truck, short bed?
Just the paint job itself?
With a little bit of rust.
Oh, I mean, goodness sakes.
Oh, it's fine, dude. Just a little bit. Just no big deal. It's not that rusty at all.
Minimal rust. I mean,
you can see the road through the floor.
Oh, that's a different.
Yeah, it's got cab corners that are a little soft.
So like the 72 I just did.
Yeah.
Where I put the whole.
I would think that's what I could afford.
Where I put the whole floor in, and then it needs cab corners and it needs the actual front body mounts. That right there should have been. Just for that, everything I did there, that should have been $5,000 just for that floor repair.
Just for the floor repair?
Yeah.
That wasn't a big patch. That was it was a big patch, but it wasn't.
An epic patch right there.
Yeah.
And the cab corners and the cab mounts and all that stuff.
You bought like floor panels, right? And then had them.
Yeah, and
cut them out and put them in.
And that's the problem. They weren't the nicest replacement parts, so I had to really massage them and work them to fit into place. So,
what's wrong with replacement parts? Why can't you just get just order it off of J.C. Whitney and get it to your house and no problem.
And get hung power or hung low or ching changs, So, goodness sakes.
These are all made in China, these body panels. They don't make them in America anymore.
Well, the ones he got were made in the USA, and it looked like somebody had some old-ass buck that they used and stamped them out and then B-rolled the floor rolls into it manually.
Yeah.
They were not nice at all. I would use the word junk. And he paid, minimal dollars for them. But if you paid good money for quality parts that, people have used and used and used, and they know that you pay for those parts.
Yeah.
And it makes it less labor to put in. So no matter what, you pay the same price in the end. And if you don't pay good money to get good panels, then somebody's just going to hack them in and it's going to look half-assed. So, but who cares? It's the floor, right? You're going to cover it up, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I don't know. If you're going to do it right. Don't hack it out.
So would you rather a customer bring in you, let's say like a fender that's brand new that they ordered off of, off of Summit Racing or something, and then, or would you rather, or LMC truck, or would you rather them have a fender that they took off of a classic Ford truck out of a junkyard?
You know that we've had that, how do you say, discussion before, where which one do you use? Because sometimes the ones that they're using now to make new are based off of one that they got off a junkyard that was fucked up.
Because they made a stamp off of one car back in 1978 or whatever.
Right.
And they made 1,000 of the, or billion of them.
And that thing's worn out and it's, So, I mean.
Yeah, the original dies are worn.
Yeah. And I've been doing this.
So it makes the panel bigger than it should be.
I think it was 95, 94, someone there that I was working in a body shop as a helper and trying to put panels on these new fender panels, supposedly. We had to cut the inner structures and we had to cut this and we had to cut that to get it to line up to the factory door that hadn't been worked in any way. So, I mean, for the last 30 years, I've been dealing with good or bad parts. So
on just this one truck for 30 years? Jeez, Greg, what's your labor rate?
Insaneness.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. I work for peanuts.
Even if it was only a couple cents an hour, dude, it's got trucks over, got to be $1 million bucks.
Propane.
Man.
Yeah, it's the budget's through the roof. But the point to that was, ever since then, good companies have come and then they've gone, and then more companies have come and gone that offer good quality parts, and then they get bought out, and then things change and they're no longer quality parts. So you find the next company that has quality parts. So
what if I just got cracking and let's say I've hit the pillars at my bank and maybe I parked a little bit too close to the 7-Eleven and scraped off the bottom lip of my Chrysler Sebring convertible.
What the?
Because I bought the car because I want to be that fun guy, you know. I want to be friendly and open to friends around, you know. And
do you want me to paint the bottom of that bumper?
Drive with the top down. There's a company locally that you can buy a pre-painted bumper.
Oh yeah,
and then mailed to you or something.
Yeah. I hear good stories and bad stories about that.
Okay.
That's hit and miss, just like your parts, you know?
Okay.
And
that's how I drive. Hit and miss.
Me too. And the cool thing about that is...
I hit a miss the other day is what I'm saying. I'm trying to confess.
I'm not gonna
She ran so fast, and I really shouldn't have aimed for her.
I'm not listening to this, and I do not want to.
The second time when I backed up, I felt real bad.
So the Broncos play football on a football field that's green and has white lines.
So much screaming.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know what came over me. Just blacked out for a second.
Why am I laughing? Now I'm involved. Anyway.
Had to ditch the truck and bury it.
Set it
That's
on
why
fire.
I bought the Mercury.
That's really the reason.
Been running from the law ever since.
I don't know, dude. Paint jobs can be anywhere from 5,000 to
a change of subject.
50,000.
Interesting.
50,000. They can be so expensive.
I'm joking, by the way.
I think
anybody.
I think we have estimates out there for 5,000 up to 60,000.
Right now, you and I, as a mechanical sympathy LLC,
as a restoration / modernization
in your driveway restoration
podcast.
Because I know what is this business? It's like it's so funny, but it's like we're restoring because I have friends who wanted us to restore car. I tried to sell him an old classic truck, and then because he's like, when I'm thinking about it, family, daughter, we want something cool, and I'm like, going, okay, how about this truck? Because you like trucks and classic trucks, and I had a '72 to sell him, and they drove it and they liked it, but it wasn't quite for them. It really wasn't quite for them. They needed more of a family adventure vehicle, and they got this cool Land Cruiser. It's a '83, which is awesome, and then FJ60, and it's rad. I love this.
I am in love with this truck.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to paint it because it's going to be all the paint's going to be diluted with all the drool from both of us. I think
We got respirators. They better not be drool.
Exactly.
You have to wear your respirator because I'm not pulling you out of the booth again like that.
No, yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
It's just a bad day, bro.
Fill it with silica gel before I go in. But yeah, I had we were talking it over with him, and he got a quote from like $20,000 to $70,000 on a paint job, and I'm like going, oh my god.
Well, it's not just a paint job with that one. That one has a lot of fucking rust to deal with, dude.
It does, but it's like,
and that's a great estimate because.
But how is that just that? Okay, that's a great estimate. That seems to me like that's an estimate that says just go away because the cars, it's like a $10,000 vehicle, $12,000 vehicle, as is,
Well, I know
it was set.
Okay, so those things are becoming.
And someone says, "Hey, $70,000."
Those are becoming more rare in the as dilapidated as it is. It's in really good shape for a 1983 vehicle, especially a Japanese vehicle that, they corrosion protection? No,
they don't galvanize their metal back then.
So
Japan in the 80s.
So those things are known to be just crumble cakes, just running down the road, dropping rust everywhere, contaminating every vehicle behind them because they're just rusting apart. So my point is to do a good restoration.
Hey-o.
On that vehicle, you could drop $20,000 in just getting all the sheet metal right. Okay. And now then that's taking it apart and just getting the sheet metal right. Now you've got to pay somebody to epoxy it, bondo it, paint it, make it shiny, put it back together. And you're not just going to put it back together with the old parts that are crumbling too. You're going to put new seats. You're going to put new carpet. You're going to put new door panels.
Because the outside looks so good. Right. Of course. And then I open the door and it's like,
it's still 1983.
Cartoon flies come buzzing around. Yeah.
The moths and all that. Yeah.
All that. So it's like, now that has to.
That paint job just turned into $60,000 to $70,000. And that's why they got that number is because, sweet Jesus, I've said it before in other podcasts. If you think it's going to cost you $5,000, you just put $15,000 away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why
it will be. I mean, we quoted them a low price, but I said, what's your budget, and why don't we just work up until we stop at that budget?
Yeah, we'll give you $10,000 worth of repairs.
Which is also how I would negotiate with a body guy. I'd say, I would say, listen, I only got $10,000.
What can you do with this?
What can you do with that? And I know I would trick him because I would always get more than what I paid for that way.
So you're my worst customer.
Oh yeah, and I negotiated the deal for us, so I'm your customer. I know we're going to give him like $20,000 worth of quality out of this thing, and labor.
And you're a jerk, and I appreciate it.
But it was one of those things that friend, and also this, and I'm like going, let's just figure this out, and I think we can do this, and I know that you and I both wouldn't be able to be satisfied with a low quality product anyway.
And that's why I did the transmission for James, because he's a friend. And
oh, yeah, you did.
And I won't do another automatic transmission for anybody else, but I'll help you with yours if you need it, but nobody else.
If you're helping me with an automatic transmission,
it
will be because we're swapping it out for a stick shift.
So you're going to make the Biz Hick? Is that the Biz Hick of 5-speed?
Biz Hick. Dude, I got to figure out a good nickname, but Biz Hick would fit on the license plate. I don't know. There is Crown Vic manual swaps. I mean, you can do Mustang stick shift.
I mean, it's going to be the cab of the truck, so you can put whatever pedals you want in it.
Or whatever. But yeah, I mean, but it's it keeps the whole frame. I'm not going to I'm not going to keep the dashboard or anything of this Crown Vic or Mercury Grand Marquis, whatever. I'm gonna get rid of all the exterior any evidence of
It's a Grand Victoria.
Grand Victoria. Golly, yeah.
So the paint jobs. Okay, we're
Grand
gonna.
Victoria. That's like sounds like I'm driving to Cotillion.
What would the 74 Bronco have been at Pinky's? That would have been 120, 220, 320. How much would that paint job have cost?
I think that'd be a $70,000 paint job.
Okay, so he's already dropped who knows how much to get all the sheet metal done on that thing, and he said, they used like 2 years budget on him. So I think that
if he did a bunch of the framework too, right? No.
Well, yeah, he was going to have them do all that stuff. So I think that would have been a 6-figure job, not just the paint.
But granted, Pinky's labor rate is pretty low because it's long-term stuff.
Agreed.
But so you end up getting a paint job that's $70,000 on a car that's but that paint job includes a lot of metal work and a lot of sanding and finessing and moving things around.
Okay, but the point is that it would have been that expensive for that job, and we're doing it for. I'm not sure yet. We're still
for less than $300,000.
We're still in production on that one.
Sure.
And then we're going to do another Land Cruiser after this one.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those. What will you give me for $5,000?
Right.
Okay, so we have immediately this much for materials, and that leaves us that much for labor. So we're going to give you that much labor, and then paint it, and that's what you get.
It'll be like a scuff and paint or whatever.
It's really close to the Earl Scheib scenario.
Yeah, because Earl Scheib, man, I actually saw an Earl Scheib down last time I was in Vegas, and I couldn't believe it was still there. But yeah, it's the home of the what was it, like $50 paint job or something?
At one time it was $199.99, and then through the 80s it went up to like $499, and then $999, and then
okay,
But
yeah, if you're out here, there's Mako.
Yeah, same thing. They did the same thing.
Yeah, where they were charging you like the $200 paint job.
Better get Mako.
Yeah, and then.
It seems like, I just robbed a bank. I better go paint my car. I better get Mako.
Yeah, because I took a Beetle there because I'm like, I don't know, if it's $200, then I'll have them paint it and then I'll fix it. I'll fix it with a buffer or something. Is what I thought.
There's no fixing their paint.
You giggle. You guffaw.
You made me cough and choke on that. Was
so
what you fix is overspray the windows that are covered. You fix all that stuff.
So I'm like so I took a bug down there, and that estimate went from $199 to $4,000 real quick.
Yeah. And
I was looking at the rundown. I'm like going, I can do this at home. I said, I just got to get courage. And usually a $4,000, when you're staring at a $4,000 bill, when you don't have that cash, you usually get the courage pretty quick.
That's half the reason why I do everything I do is because I'm too cheap to pay other people. I'm like looking at the audited estimate on it, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that part. I can do that part. I can do that part. I can figure that part out. I don't think that's too difficult. I can do this myself.
Have you ever painted anything in the past? Is this your first paint job?
You threw me off there.
Have you ever painted an Isuzu Rodeo? Is this the first time you've painted a Isuzu Rodeo?
I didn't paint one, but I have fixed a couple.
So that's not your first rodeo?
No, it is not my first rodeo.
Or
even Honda Passport.
Wow. Hey-o. What's your background in painting?
Oh my gosh.
Because it's not the first time I've painted a car. I've painted a few cars before I used you as an instructor through the Kindig Academy and Animal Husbandry Academy. We learned how to build Camaros and inseminate horses.
I've been painting cars since
the horse insemination I did after the shop closed.
Since 1988.
Okay.
19.
Everybody's like going, what are you doing after class? I go, working on the Mustang. And they go, little did they know. Giggled. Walked away. I had a couple of Mustangs after that class.
Am I right? Hey. Anyway, Mustang, you're a pervert.
I am not
I'm trying to deny these
pervert.
these innuendos and insinuations. Anyway, I hope everybody's laughing so hard that they
take care of my cattle as a hobby. Not my cattle, but
I take care of them like they're mine. Am I right?
Am I right?
I believe it was my sophomore or junior year of high school. My Uncle Joe was painting his daughter, my cousin's 1980 Dodge Colt.
Cool.
2-door hatchback.
Oh, so you have some experience with the horses.
I do. Okay. I do. I've been working on Mustangs and Colts all my life.
Yeehaw.
Hee-ho. Anyway. Uncle Joe's one of those...
Genuine cowboy says hee-ho, not yee-haw. You guys caught that. I think he's lying about this.
Uncle Joe has always been one of those guys who fix shit up. He's part of the reason why I'm into cars, because Uncle Joe and Grandpa would buy whatever's, fix them and sells them. They were really good at flipping things, right? At one point, they bought 5 34 Ford pickups.
Whoa.
Yeah, they were all just completely disassembled and stacked together like a production line.
Nice.
5 cabs, 5 front ends, 5 beds.
Wow.
5 frames, and then doors, fenders, everything, running boards, 5 complete sets. And they would take them, put them, everything on the frame, and put like a 9-inch underneath it, weld in a Mustang 2 front end, and then small block Chevy, turbo 350. Nice. Sell it, and just leave it like that and sell it, okay. And then build the next one, and then build the next one. So that's where I learned how to do that kind of stuff. But then they got to the point where
that's so cool.
They bought a 1950 Ford F1 pickup.
Yeah,
and there was nothing wrong with it. It just had a seized motor. Mm-hmm. So they pulled that motor, and somehow they got a hold of a
small little thing wrong with it.
Right. No, it was, yes. Yeah. So they bought they bought I think it's a 321 Buick Nailhead.
Okay.
Because the valve covers were flat.
Yeah.
And bought an adapter plate and put it onto the stock 50 3-speed transmission.
That engine block's called Nailhead because because like the head bolts look like nails, I guess, or whatever.
I can't remember why, or it's because of flat valve covers, and it looks like the valve cover bolts.
They are totally, horizontal valve covers. They're not angled at all.
At all.
They're just, straight flat.
Right. And that thing was great. It's still...
Oh, they're very cool engines.
It was still 6 volt.
Yeah.
It was everything, but they decided to paint that one.
Okay.
So at that time, I'm a senior in high school, and I get the privilege of helping with the prep and all that stuff. And by then, that's like my second or third paint job with him. The first paint job I ever did, we almost died because he didn't open up the garage door and create ventilation. Yeah. And back then it was lacquer.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We might have been enamel, but...
Lacquer's illegal now, dude.
So I think that particular enamel is illegal now too. Yeah. But even with the respirators, we almost died. It was insane. We were puking in the front yard. Yeah. So ever since then, I've been addicted to paint, I think.
Okay. Tell me.
Thanks, Uncle Joe.
Gee whiz, yeah. I mean, and we had, in one of the last episodes, we talked about yesterday's future today, that we also talked about, PPE or personal protective equipment, that wearing masks and everything like that, and you can get away with stuff. But that water-based stuff, too, now that almost all the paint shops now use water-based paints.
Almost all collision repair, and because they're all water-based from the factory.
And it's better for the environment, they say.
Yeah, supposedly.
But I've heard a rumor. Maybe you can tell me.
It's like fake water.
It's more dangerous for humans, than lacquer.
Okay, so my argument on that is because I don't valid no. My invalid answer is, yes, it is. Because I don't have enough education and experience with it. But in my mind, if you're sweating and then something water-based comes in contact with you, like, heaven forbid, some kind of bodily fluid, like if somebody sneezes on you, somebody spits on you, somebody urinates on you. In my mind, that transfers into you quicker.
Don't spray me with water-based paint and tell me it's raining. Am I right?
I mean, because if it's chemical based, it's going to go into your pores faster. Whether it's quote unquote water based, because it's not like you can take it to the kitchen sink and rinse it off. It's not that kind of water base. You have to use the water-based thinner. You have to use the correct thinners for it, reducers to clean it and everything. Because
when you're thinning it out, you can't just pour tap water into it.
Or distilled water like we do for the radiators and stuff like that. You have to use specific chemicals still. So it's still chemical-based.
It still has to break a different bond or whatever to dilute it.
And again, I haven't used it that much. I don't have a lot of education on it. So, but in my mind, it's still a chemical.
So what, like if I'm just getting Rust-Oleum off the, out of, or Duplicolor out of O'Reilly's, is that water-based or whatever, the paint?
No.
No? What is
those
that?
Those are all solvent-based.
Solvent-based, okay.
And they all have reducers or activators or hardeners or whatever,
Gotcha.
Stuff like that. That's why you can use an aerosol can over and over and over, because it's oxygen that activates that.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, and then I definitely got my more formal education from a guy named Dan over at Pinky's, their painter. He's pretty legendary. He does some amazing work. It takes him forever, and then it comes out immaculate. So it's like, okay, you kind of go, well, how much does a miracle cost? Because it's
so much, right?
Yeah, but then those cars win every award, and you go, okay, well, how much paint are you using? How much are you mixing? It's like, well, these gallons, they weigh, let's say that weighs 12 pounds of paint on this, but in return you get 90 pounds worth of trophies to fill the cabinets, So it's
okay.
I mean, that thing is, those cars that he painted were just gorgeous. I don't know if I've ever seen paint jobs as good as what Danny could do.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, and that booth you've seen that booth. It's not
fancy.
It's not fancy. It's not good. It's good. It's clean.
It's not top notch.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a good quality booth.
But there's some talent in there, I think, with also the prep going into it,
prep is everything.
Okay.
That's
kind of what I was leading to.
There's no good paint job without proper prep. Ever, never, ever, never, ever.
Okay,
never,
so Scotch-Brite pads and then rattle can, and you're good. Could you if you did really, really amazing prep, like Pinky's level of prep, Pinky's Rod Shop level of prep, and then rattle canned it?
Yeah.
What would it look all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All over, there's arguments all over the world, not just in America. I mean, everywhere.
Even in Zimbabwe?
You know it.
Really?
Yeah. Some guys can fucking lay down some spray bomb paint jobs like you would not believe.
Okay. I'm just wondering if they were making that argument or not in Zimbabwe.
No, because there's some people that can just have the talent, and there's that technique, and they just can figure out how to get a good quality paint job out of 17 cans of spray paint.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember there was an old Hot Rod magazine cover that they did with it's like a Mercury Monterey that they had literally taken the old adage of it was painted with a roller.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So they did it. They painted a car with a roller, and then they spent weeks polishing it.
Okay.
And weeks and weeks and weeks polishing and trying to get it right. And then at the end they go, it looks decent.
And that's all you can do, right?
It's shiny, and it was flat, and it did lay flat eventually.
Yeah.
Holy cow. They said it was a lot of work. It was so much work.
Was it lacquer or enamel, single stage?
I don't know. I don't remember, but it was a convertible, and it was white with a red interior, and they did a roller paint job. It was hilarious.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah, and they tried to
That's insane.
just go with the cliche joke or whatever. This thing looks like it was painted with a roller brush, and so.
Oh man. I mean, there's been paint jobs that the orange peel is so bad that you could make the argument, but my argument was always, oh, that's not even an orange, that's a grapefruit. That looks so bad. You can't emphasize how bad this is.
This isn't orange peel, this is kiwi.
Right.
It's fuzzy too.
What the hell, bro?
That's funny. That's great.
I mean,
it's a great idea.
And some it looks dry and splotchy, and then it's just over orange peeled, and
because orange peel just means the texture of the paint is like an orange peel or whatever.
Yeah.
And we say it's got like no orange peel, it's got a lot of orange peel. It's like there's the grades of orange.
Factory orange peel.
Factory orange peel.
Factory texture, if you will.
When I was a paintless dent repair guy, and if we were at a delership lot, and if it was a couple of us techs, it was like we would always kind of fight for the Chrysler keys because we could fix the hail damage on the Chrysler's products because they always had the most paint.
Orange peel,
most orange peel, the most texture in their paint jobs.
And you could hide stuff in there.
So you could push, and it would hide the dents really easily, and it would. So it's like you're done in half the time that a Lexus would take you
because it's nice and smooth.
Exactly. It was so funny. So yeah,
it depends on you can get a no orange peel nice paint job with spray bombs if you have the technique and the time and the patience to do it.
What's a spray bomb?
It's a shake and shoot spray can.
Okay, and then more sound effects. Yay. Yay. Sorry. I didn't know how far you're going. I was just going to clap along like a toddler.
Well, for our listening audience, geez Louise, bro.
What's the, what would you do with a
spray bomb? You don't know.
No, to make a good prep. So how do you think, is it just that you could, I guess I gotta ask you. I'll have more questions, I guess. But what's the basic prep of a guy who brings in
something that's already ready to paint?
Yeah, I guess.
Like he did all the body work and it's all primed up.
Do you have a quick steps to get to a paint job?
Okay. Well, it depends on what steps you start from.
Oh my gosh, Greg, just tell the audience.
Okay, so let's say it's the day to paint the car.
We're done with rust.
Let's say it's the day to paint the car. It's sitting in front of the booth, and you're ready to push it inside and mask it off. Well, no, you don't mask it off inside because the booth should have been cleaned the day before.
Okay.
And that way, whatever dust could be in there, it's already settled down, and you just need to go in and one more time, just do a quick clean, You sweep out the booth the day before, because when you sweep, you raise dust.
Understood.
So,
and then, so you're a proponent of wetting down, like taking a hose to the floor of the booth?
Because some booths don't like that. Some booths, it messes things up and stuff like that. So it depends on the booth. But if you have a good, nice downdraft booth, you don't need to wet the floor because whatever dust is now settled from yesterday, and you can just pull the car in and do it. At that point, yes, the car was cleaned yesterday. Everything was wiped down yesterday. Everything was done yesterday. So the day of the paint job, you are giving it one more final clean wipe with, lint-free rags and
tack cloth.
If you need to, if you want to.
Kind of like a waxy cloth.
Because it'll pick up all the debris that is settled in the shop overnight.
And there's technique to tack cloth too.
There is.
Because you don't want to rub it into the paint. You don't want to get wax in the paint. But it's like this waxy cheesecloth or whatever that you kind of rub.
Yeah, it is cheesecloth.
That you wipe across, or you gently drag across the surface of the car.
Don't push down on it. Don't try and wipe something off with it, scrub off something with it.
Which is so funny that they give you that as a final thing, but it pulls off any lint and dust and everything else.
But you clean the car one more time, and then you mask it up.
Yeah.
And then you clean the car one more time, roll it into the booth. Don't start it. Just gently push it in the booth, and then wipe it down again. Just keep it clean. the whole flipping time. And if you can, mask it off with gloves on, so your oils of your hands don't get on the car.
Yeah, that's tough because you can get hot and sweaty, and you want to.
Yeah, because you're all excited to paint it, so you get all hot and bothered. I mean, it's a hot day. You should have the temperature set correctly in the shop to paint it, because you should have the proper amount of humidity. Seriously, you should. I think it's 28 to 38% humidity.
Really?
And
wow.
Yeah, 70 to 78 degrees, somewhere in there for the spray. But some painters like to have different temperatures for their spray.
But you can also adjust your paint mixes, your hardeners,
fast
and everything
and slow,
based off of the humidity and the But some of the, your PPG computers would adjust for you.
Okay, but oh my gosh, dude, when you get into product choice like that, it's the Haviland, Valvoline, Prestone, Keystone. Who has the best antifreeze and oils, right?
Whatever peak antifreeze that Danica Patrick would advertise, that's the one I use.
You're correct. I'm sorry. We're done with that today. But my point is, some painters like to be really close and spray fast, so they're going to use this kind of a...
I like to be close to my painter.
And spray fast. You pervert. Anyway, the technique of the painter, the shop conditions, everything changes. Depends on how you use a fast hardener or slow hardener and this and that and this and that. I swear to goodness, the same painter, the same paint booths in the same body shop will have two painters come in the same year because one left or whatever.
Yeah.
And the other one will be like, I don't know how this guy was spraying with this stuff. This is insane. I need to use this to get a good paint job here. And it's all in his technique because he's close to the paint, or he's close to the vehicle and spraying fast, whereas the other guy was far away and sprayed slow.
Huh.
But they still get the same finish.
Yeah.
Explain that. I don't know how 6 different spray techniques get you the same orange peel finish that looks like a factory finish. So this guy's using fast hardener, this guy's using medium hardener, this guy's using slow hardener. He's got 38 psi, he's got 28 psi, he's got 19 psi.
Yeah, there's some magic in the...
It's all in the technique. It's all in the person that's doing it. That's why the guys who can do it with spray bombs, the shake and shoots, can get you a nice paint job because they figured out how it is to lay it out.
Can you be a good painter and not have a felony?
No.
I don't think I've met any that are real skilled and real high-end painters that don't have trouble with the law all the time, Or it's like I want to stay and paint a car overnight here. No, I'll watch it bake because if I go home, I'll get arrested again because of the old ball and chain or something. They have a crazy home life and they have real trouble with the cops. I've never met a good painter who doesn't have those issues, okay? Or ravenous ADHD that is like 17 Red Bulls a day, and...
Well, if we go back into earlier of the podcast where I mentioned where my Uncle Joe tried to kill me in the garage with a bunch of paint fumes.
He didn't try to. It was more of a manslaughter. It was
inadvertently meant to.
Manslaughter than direct homicide attempt.
Anyway, whatever. We almost died that night. And I'm pretty sure I'm a different human being because of that.
Okay, yeah.
So,
that's funny.
You can't be around toxic fumes, no matter what it is. How many body men are normal?
Maybe you're just attracted to drama and toxins.
No.
Yeah, this might be a bigger question, bigger thing to talk about.
I used to be, but now I've learned my lesson and try to stay away from toxins. But I'm still gullible. I still am.
You run away, and then some pretty little toxin shows up, and you come running right back.
I said I was a recovering addict.
Recover every day.
I have to wake up and recover and do it again.
Exactly.
Well said, sir.
Same. Yeah, I think that, I'm attracted to drama too. So let's do this. But yeah,
I think, honestly, they are that way because of the chemicals.
Okay.
But you also have to be a little bit crazy to put yourself in a fucking ventilated box and submit yourself to those chemicals. You have to be crazy to do that.
What if you're just an artist, I mean...
What artist is not crazy? What artist is not a little wackadoo
I
or eccentric?
Yeah, any good one at least, you know.
Come on.
I mean, if you're stick figures and whatever else and trying to sell it, then yeah, you're not getting anywhere. And maybe you just go back to your
painting mustaches on subway signs.
Yeah, there you go, and giggling.
Well, that's the only recognition you get is somebody else going, hee. And put your initials underneath the
That person doesn't have a mustache naturally.
Right, that looks really good, though. Come on, bro. Honestly, I don't know any people who were within normalcy that don't live a normal life.
Yeah.
If you're a normal person, you live a normal life.
Because who's like the most famous current painter? Maybe Banksy, you know, right now?
You're asking the wrong person.
And he's like a recluse. He doesn't want to be photographed, but his paintings are like on the sides of buildings and they're going for millions of dollars. And people are they'll take down brick by brick off the side of a wall because he graffitied something the night before. And then they'll take all those bricks down and then recreate it in their museums or whatever. And he doesn't want to sell these things. He does, he'll get money here and there, but I don't know how. He's the one who did all the posters with like Obama Hope, poster that was a Banksy and all that stuff. So I'm guessing he might be the most famous one. And I couldn't tell you in a police lineup what he looks like, even though there are some photos out there.
But the point is that he's a little bit different. Definitely. He is a unique individial.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't fit the mold of your general stereotypical office worker. Yeah,
probably not the guy you want to be caught in an elevator with, to talk, or, how's your day going? I don't think it's going to be normal.
You're going to get 7 answers really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be. It might be crawling the walls or whatever, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Well, and that's the point. I mean, what painter hasn't been? What body man isn't a little bit wackadoo? I mean, there's some normal body men out there that make a living and they don't get too crazy. They live a normal life. But
yeah, if you're like had a hot rod shop and you a painter comes in for an interview and you're like going, hey, so how's the wife and kids? You go, oh, it's pretty good. Tommy's in soccer right now, and the wife, we've just been in love for decades now. She's my high school sweetheart. Everything's all right.
Sweet
and then
Jesus.
you go, okay, and what's your 5-year plan? You go, well, I just want to progress in my craft, and I really love what I'm doing, and we could build something great here at the shop. You go, okay.
Can I have the number of your psychiatrist and parole officer?
Parole officer.
Because clearly
I don't have
you have multiple clearly have multiple personalities.
We're fine. I think it's I think you might have me confused with a criminal, and I'm not. I just kind of keep to myself. We have a good time and everything, and I just living the American dream.
We'll see in the background check,
sir.
We'll see in the background check.
I've heard enough. No, thank you. And then the next guy comes in, and he's sniffling and shaking a little bit.
He's got one eye bigger than the other.
And neither one of them are making contact with you. And you go, hey, what's your name? And he just taps twice. And then you go, you're hired. You smell like trash.
You smell like a paint booth. Okay. Get over there.
Are you living in that car you pulled up in? Yeah. Okay, you're perfect.
Come on.
I don't need to see your work. I know it's good. Do you have more paint for Mongo to drink? And then he hops into his Winnebago and drives away.
Just 2 blocks, because that's all the gas he has.
That's the guy you want for your paint booth, for sure.
He's always late, but he's 2 blocks away.
He's always... Zachary. Oh, my God.
Last one in the building.
Yeah, I haven't met a good one that's adjusted. And, yeah.
Okay, see, look, I don't want to say I've been painting for that long now. Because I haven't been painting. I was collision tech, and I didn't paint for all those years that I did collision. But there were some body shops that you had to do your own primer work. So you had to know how to use a paint gun. Right. And then over the years, the more you learn or the more you do it, the better you get. So... Of course, okay, I'll paint your this, I'll paint your that, and next thing I know, I'm painting completes, and then I'm a painter at high altitude trailer, painting all the trailers.
Yeah.
Doing 2-3 trailers a day.
Gotcha. And then you were also at Earth Roamer. Were you painting at Earth Roamer too?
Yeah, as well as General Assembly.
Okay.
Fixing.
And that's gigantic painting. That's
No, I never painted the whole thing.
okay.
Never did I ever have to paint the whole thing. It was just always spot.
Oh, okay.
That's
cool.
where I learned
That's
how
great.
to put blend clears and colors. And
Okay.
I could
Nice.
do a spot like you wouldn't believe.
Woohoo!
Right.
And then Kindig.
Kindig, I didn't really do too much paint work other than teach how to paint work.
Okay.
We did do the one car complete, right?
Yeah.
But other than that,
Yeah. But that was pretty fun. That was a blast.
that was the only that was the only time we did it complete because they got mad because we used almost like $4,000 worth of material.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Wow. And that car looked like $100,000.
Candy bar?
Okay. It looked
It looked like $100,000 candy bar texture. It did.
Yeah. It was laid down
dark
like
chocolate because it was black, but
Like
then the texture was.
it did. Yeah.
At the same
it
time,
came out like a Snickers bar.
at the same time, it had 5 coats put on by 17 different people.
It was so fun.
Oh my god, dude!
That process. And it's like you couldn't control what you did, because everybody was painting over what you were doing.
Yeah, and you couldn't
back
see
and
what
forth.
you did, and your end result. That was such a horrible way to teach that class. I apologize.
I don't know. I mean, whatever. It was definitely the worst car I ever painted.
But I had no idea how to run that class, and we got no direction on what you should do for a paint class.
Because mostly I learned painting was from other dudes in the paint booth,
Yeah,
and,
same here.
and like the boss going, "Hey, you give this a try. I'll show you what to do." And then like you're standing next to him as he's painting or whatever. He goes, "Okay," and then he hands you the gun, and then you go, "Oh, I don't want to do this. This is $100,000 Porsche. Don't let me do this." And he goes, "Too late." It was awesome. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, stroke, just match my pace and my distance. And then he's like going farther back, too close, too far, too
Yeah.
close, too far, up, down, and it's great. That was pretty fun,
Yeah.
but nerve-wracking,
It is nerve-wracking.
But at least it made me respect the guys in the booth for sure, because he was like, he said, "Well, whatever you ruin, I'll fix. We'll fix,
Yeah.
whatever." And it was like a base coat before the final, so we had time.
My first paint job in a shop was at Lee's Discount Auto Body, and we did this little two-tone S10 two-door
Yeah.
Blazer.
Okay.
And it was
Cool.
gray on top or silver on top, and it had the black insert around, and then gray on the bottom. And it had the red stripes
We had to
separating.
have a red stripe.
It was
Yeah.
so
It was
cool.
GM Goodrich colors. Yeah.
Well,
Mr.
all he
Goodrich.
had it in there for was to put the black in and put the red stripes on, because
He
it was
wanted
just
to match his.
no,
his-
it was
his-
just a silver S10, and
his
he was
Dickies
like,
shirt that was his factory General Motors shirt. Remember? Remember that
don't
color?
remember.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Don't make me say Intimidator colors.
you just
Dale Earnhardt. Do it for Dale.
dig.
But yeah, so
Anyway, that was my first production paint job. And Leo, the shop owner, he's like,
Yeah.
"Go in there,
watch this.
take the gun, and do it."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Okay."
Cool.
And he just watched through the window. He didn't even go in with me. And at that time, it was siphon feed.
Huh.
We're not even gravity feed paint guns. And-
Okay, from the bottom sucking up instead of from the cup up top.
Right.
That seems like a silly thing, that siphon feed
God, dude.
paint gun.
It
Because
does.
it's like it's just made to get air bubbles in there.
And it's just made to not work.
Yeah.
You need so much air flowing past it to pull that thick paint up and
What if you just
atomize
flipped it upside down? Would it work?
Wouldn't let gravity feed it?
Would it?
Would it?
I never painted with one of those ones.
Oh, yes, it does work.
It does work?
It does.
So, and it works better probably.
Yeah.
But just the trigger's on the wrong side or awkward. You pull your pinky to set the...
Anyway, that was the cool paint job to do because it was black and I just did the black insert. So I just had to do and then move to the next one. And he said if I ran it, I had to sand it.
Okay.
He wouldn't fix it. So
Yeah.
that put more pressure. But I did it and then was like, okay, I think I could do some paint jobs. And then he had me do more paint work and then do more paint work. And after 2 weeks of that, I said, fuck you. I'd rather be a body man.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't like painting that much.
There's just too much tension, too much risk on all these things.
Yeah.
Because like I was one of those things too where
because you can always do it wrong and then have to do it again and then do it wrong again and do it again and then you get fired because you can't do it right.
Yeah, it was always high pressure, and now you can't get a painter to save your life. You can't get a good painter to that does quality work anywhere in the industry. If you're a hot rod business trying to hire anybody, like even a collision shop, it's so hard to get a good painter. I think that one of the shocking things I found was that you could fix a paint job mid-paint job. Basically, that if you did have a run in any layer, that you could actually go a step back and fix it. That always made it. When I first started painting big things, I was always freaking out that I'm like going, dang it, I have to start over from scratch, if I get a run down this thing. But finding out that you can actually sand this out with the appropriate amount of grit and everything you can fix your mistakes. Because I got relatively good at just painting wheels and stuff on all these cars, and every car I owned, and then I always held a can the wrong way, whatever. I spray with my thumb, and then when someone says, no, hold it this way, spray with your index finger, I don't have that motor control, and so I don't spray right, and I always run and everything else and ruin it. So it's kind of how you kind of just have to trust yourself that you can actually do this yourself.
There's nothing wrong with using your thumb. Sometimes your thumb is stronger anyway. Yes, and I
have that control or whatever. I also drive an automatic with my left foot over the brake. I brake with my left foot, and everybody, he's shaking his head no. But it's like develop more skill with that thing. I know that like the first time you do it, you go, oh, you hit it too hard or whatever. But man, it's like I need my left front foot to do something in an automatic because I've owned, mostly sticks or whatever, and it's just like it's one of those things I can't help myself. I'll tell you what. But you develop skill or control over that, after a while, and then you can go smoothly and everything.
I think that's what's the advantage of having base coat, clear coat, because if something happens in the base coat, you can kind of fix it, put a little more base on it, and have it match, and then put your clear coat down.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the middle of your clear coat, you can get like a debris or something fall in there, and you could pull it out and clear again and keep going and put your other two coats clear on or whatever. Sometimes you can fix it mid-paint. Whereas if it's single stage, it is what it is.
Yeah. And I've been educated a few times and had to develop my eyesight for what was a good paint job and what was a bad paint job afterwards. And just walking through a car show, it did ruin car shows for me.
It does. It absolutely ruins anything.
Because all of a sudden you're trained to see scratches,
whatever happens,
tape marks,
orange peel,
little things. I mean,
misalignment doors.
Yeah, I can walk past anything and just go, "Oh my God,
why is this
hideous?
This looks like a bag of walnuts. What happened?"
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, "Where?
What do you mean? This is awesome."
That's the worst orange peel I've ever seen. It's not orange peel. It's a bag of walnuts.
It's got to be terrible for when you bring a friend to. When I bring a friend to a car show who's not ultra nerdy or whatever,
or educated like that,
or isn't a coworker, that goes to a car show with me, where we all know and we circle around somebody's pride and joy, and then hope that, and we start talking about it and going like, that's a little bit off, man. It's like, oh yeah, dude, he screwed up on this thing.
Oh, what did you do here?
Oh my God! And then you realize he's standing next to you,
and you're like, hey, buddy, good job on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect all the hard work you put in.
Yeah, and I've done that too, where I go with other people. I've had a friend who knew a ton, knew what he was talking about,
right?
And with hot rod stuff and painting and just stuff. And I said, hey, don't say a word. I'm going to interview this guy, and then we'll laugh about it later.
Okay.
Which sucks. It's mean.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible person, but I just started talking to him, and then like 15 things came up, and then it was so amazing. Just like, and having to, because I knew if he spoke, he would blab out, dude, what the hell were you thinking? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm trying to go going.
Encourage him to talk positive about it.
And... Right, but it also is incriminating himself. It's like a lawyer on a stand. It's like, I might not be the smartest man here or whatever, but Would you tell the council what you were thinking when you sectioned this Mercury? And then he starts going in, it's like I go, have you ever considered doing body filler on these, down the seam, these visible seams down the sides? And he goes, yeah, well, it's fine, but also you section the whole thing, and that's how it goes and stuff like that. Nobody can get them right, and then I don't even look at my friend.
Have you seen the meme with the little red Honda Civic with the Silverado headlights grafted into the hood and fenders?
No.
Oh yeah. Somebody took sheet metal and just welded it so that the Silverado headlights sat where the Civic headlights used to be.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then painted it all red, and that's the guy I'm picturing you're interviewing right there. So at what point did you figure it would be a good idea to make these headlights fit on this vehicle?
At what point did you lose your mind, sir?
Right, so your buddy's going to call him out on it where you're just trying to talk to him nice about it.
Officer, arrest this man.
He should take his man card and his welder.
Yeah, my friend just runs up with the handcuffs. Where'd you give it? You didn't get handcuffs, man. He's like, well, we're going to a car show. I'm going to bring, something.
How do you not bring handcuffs?
Yeah, come on, man.
Where's yours? I know you got your concealed. Where's your handcuffs?
It's like, dude, maybe zip ties, but come on, dude.
That's kinky. That's just kinky.
Batman has zip ties, dude. Come on. They make less noise jingling around if you're a ninja. Everybody knows this. But yeah,
didn't think of that.
There's a Facebook group called
it's good to be silent.
Photoshop, but with welding. And it's
she'll never know.
And it's all these like wild things of, it's a Pontiac Grand Am front end and a 54 Ford truck cab and it's got some Chrysler fins on the back of it and stuff like that. It's all painted by rattle can and splotchy things. It's like, and it's so amazing. And I think if
operating?
If you see a car that's like they're braggadocious about it, but it's like, let's say it's a pretty mild custom or whatever, but they're really braggadocious about it, but it looks kind of badly done. It's a little off versus if they went hardcore crazy, and it's got Pontiac front and Buick rear, but it's got a Saab in between and a bunch of other like wings and
it's all been roller painted.
Yeah. And it's also a hearse, it's like, then it's like, okay, you're beyond it. It's awesome now,
It's so hideous, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, how like...
And he used a paint roller to paint it. Yeah, I like those guys.
They're like, why are you making fun of my car? You go, because it's not
And he lives in it.
Yeah. Why are you making fun of my car? Well, because it's not good or bad enough.
And the funny thing is, those guys have solar and they're like off grid, but it's still the hideous vehicle that they roller painted together, and they have to fix it every day.
There was a hearse club around Denver for a while.
I'm sure there still is.
Yeah, and it was so cool because this guy's got gigantic bat wings that are like 6 feet tall above the thing, and it's so rad.
I just saw a purple hearse for sale.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hearses are pretty, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if I get a lowrider hearse, oh my gosh, that would be the ultimate. I think Cadillac Fleetwood.
You know what I'd like to get is one of those 6-door.
6-door.
The hearse that rides in front or behind the hearse.
Oh, the flower car.
Yeah, well, it has just 6 doors on it, so it can take all the occupants from the church to the cemetery.
Nice.
Yeah, and then just like have 8,000 horsepower and have it look exactly like it does.
Yeah, dude, a regular Dragula. Yeah, it'd be cool. Do you want to end there? No. How long would a $70,000 paint job take to do? It could be a year's, right?
Well, it depends on the purpose the reason why it costs $70,000. If you have to take the body off and do all that rust work like the Bronco needed and stuff like that, then that $70,000 is going to take a year. Is
there a big difference between Ask-A-Noble and PPG and Sherwin-Williams?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could trust Sherwin-Williams, man.
You can ask Sherwin-Williams, but I don't know if you can trust them.
I know they're like new to the car game and they're pushing hard, dude.
They're not new.
No, to car?
No, not at all.
Not at all? Really?
No, because we were using Sherwin-Williams in 2003 at AutoWorks International.
What do you think of their quality of their paints?
Well, they switched from BASF to Sherwin-Williams, but I think it's all the same product line.
Okay.
And AkzoNobel has Sherwin-Williams and BASF, and
Because I've had several bosses saying that, like, you get the expensive stuff, it will, like, it lays down nicer. It doesn't run as easily.
there is a difference in the price, man. You get what you pay for when it comes to product like that, whatever reason.
Yeah. So if you were just starting out, would you just spend more than you could afford basically on paint if you're painting a car for the first time, or would you?
Well, the best answer
If you need the quality there at the end,
you should try and go middle of the road kind of a thing. If it's your first paint job, you're going to fight yourself using the cheapest shit.
we're using AkzoNobel on this car, right?
Yeah.
And then Pinky's did PPG almost only exclusively, and they won every award with it. So it's like,
But then again, that painter was a badass.
yes, and we can't. And then he was a badass, and he did, and any little mistake he corrected and redid, and had a total commitment.
Yeah.
So couldn't ask for more. But when you had, I think the PPG stuff looked beautiful too.
Yeah, it does. It can lay down a nice product. Yeah.
And I like
the Deltron stuff.
I bet you Danny could probably, Deltron, yeah. But I bet you Danny could probably pick out a car that had PPG versus anything else.
Well, yeah, because you get used to a product line and the way it sprays and the way it reacts and the way it can be used in the environment that you're using it in.
Yeah.
So that's
Danny,
why.
look at these two Buicks and tell me which one was PPG. Yeah. Here goes. This one tastes bad.
Right. Well, and some products work better in some environments. Like Exo might work good in that shop, or in PPG might be the better thing in that shop.
Because we had two Sherwin-Williams paint. Whenever I hear Sherwin-Williams, I go,
ask Sherwin-Williams.
I keep thinking house paints. I can't think of anything else.
That's what I thought when I learned about it too. Yeah.
And I understand that they do make a good product, but it's like, holy cow, I just don't know how to sell that to a customer who's spending $70,000 on a paint job. It's tough. I would say, let's do a Behr paint. Let's do a PPG.
No, that's where you give them the fact that Sherwin-Williams is also BASF and.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, and other product lines.
I didn't know all that. But also,
same thing as PPG, Deltron. I think it's Omni, something like that.
Okay.
Not Omni, but something along those lines. One company has its top of the line, mid of the line, and then generic.
Okay.
Every company has.
Have you ever noticed a big difference when you're painting, like, and you regret using that brand?
Yeah.
What's that?
Usually the Omnis.
Oh yeah.
But they've come a long way. Now they're not so transparent. Like, you have to put on twice as much base coat because it's so thin, it's so cheap, so you may as well just get the middle of the road.
Okay.
And put on 2 coats like you're supposed to instead of putting on 4 coats and using all the product anyway. You're just spending the same amount of money.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you've done enough and you can do it, yeah, get yourself the best product because you're going to get yourself a better end result.
Okay. All right. Well, good. I think that's a good conclusion. I'm just going to vinyl wrap my truck. But thanks, bud.
Well, what color?
Sparkly purple. All right, man. Oh. You have a good night.
Do you have to end it with a purple?
What?
You're going to end this with purple?
Yeah. Purple, 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 purple.